Chris McKenna, a familiar and trusted presence on General Hospital, had always carried himself with confidence, whether on screen or during public appearances. But recently, his energy seemed quieter. His smile lingered a little less, and his absence from certain events sparked whispers across social media. Questions began to surface. Was he stepping away? Was something going on behind the scenes? Or was it just another rumor in a world that thrives on speculation? This time, it wasn't just gossip. And now, for the first time, Chris McKenna decided to speak, not as a character, not as a performer, but as himself. The silence didn't come suddenly. It crept in slowly, almost unnoticed. Interviews were postponed. Online interactions became rare. Fans who followed him closely sensed a shift, but didn't know how to explain it. Some assumed he was simply taking a break. Others feared the reason ran deeper. Behind the scenes, Chris was facing something he never expected, not a single moment, but a series of wake-up calls that forced him to stop, listen, and reevaluate everything. "I didn't know how to talk about it at first," he later admitted, "not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't yet understand it myself." That uncertainty kept him quiet longer than he planned. According to those close to him, the real turning point didn't happen under bright lights or on a dramatic day. It happened quietly. Chris realized he was pushing forward out of habit, not strength. The same discipline that had carried him through demanding roles was now working against him. He was listening to expectations instead of signals, and his body was asking for attention he had been postponing. "I've always believed in showing up," he said, "but I had to learn that showing up also means knowing to slow down." That realization changed everything. Instead of ignoring the situation, Chris chose to confront it privately, away from speculation and pressure. And in doing so, he began a journey that reshaped how he defined resilience. When Chris finally decided to share his story, it wasn't for headlines, it was for honesty. He understood that fans weren't just curious, they were concerned. Many had followed his career for years. They didn't just admire his work, they felt connected to the person behind it. "I didn't want people filling in the blanks with fear," he explained. "I wanted to speak with clarity, not confusion." But even then, he was careful. Chris didn't dramatize the situation. He didn't seek sympathy. Instead, he spoke calmly, thoughtfully, emphasizing awareness, balance, and perspective. And that quiet honesty resonated louder than any shocking revelation could have. What stunned fans most wasn't the fact that Chris had faced challenges, it was how he spoke about them. There was no bitterness, no frustration, no blame. Instead, he talked about growth. "I've learned that strength isn't about pushing through everything," Chris said. "Sometimes it's about stepping back and allowing yourself space." For many viewers, those words hit close to home. Social media flooded with messages, not panic, but appreciation. Fans shared their own stories. Some thanked him for normalizing conversations that often stay hidden behind smiles and schedules. The reaction surprised even Chris himself. "I didn't expect that level of connection," he admitted, "but it reminded me why speaking honestly matters." Behind the scenes, the General Hospital cast and crew stood firmly by him. Several co-stars reached out privately. Others shared subtle but meaningful gestures of support. There were no dramatic announcements, just understanding, respect, and space. In an industry known for constant momentum, that support meant everything. "It reminded me that I'm not alone," Chris said, "and that taking care of yourself isn't a weakness in this business, it's necessary." The experience strengthened bonds that fans rarely get to see, reinforcing the sense of family that General Hospital has cultivated for decades. Perhaps the biggest twist in Chris McKenna's story isn't what he went through, but how it changed his outlook moving forward. He didn't speak about endings. He spoke about adjustments, about listening more carefully, about choosing balance over burnout, about showing up with intention instead of pressure.
"This isn't about stepping away from what I love," he explained. "It's about making sure I can keep doing it, fully and honestly." That reassurance eased many fans' fears. Chris made it clear, his passion remains. His dedication hasn't faded. What's changed is his awareness and his willingness to protect it. After his statement, something shifted. Fans didn't just see Chris McKenna as a performer anymore. They saw him as someone willing to be real in a world that often rewards perfection. Comments poured in. "Thank you for being honest. This helped more than you know. Strength looks different now, and that's okay." The stunned reaction wasn't rooted in shock. It was rooted in respect. By breaking his silence, Chris gave fans permission to pause, reflect, and care for themselves, too. In the end, Chris McKenna's story isn't about crisis. It's about clarity. It's about recognizing when silence no longer serves you and choosing to speak with purpose instead of fear. I'm grateful for the lessons, for the support, and for the chance to move forward with more understanding than before. And as fans continue to follow his journey, one thing is clear. This chapter didn't weaken him. It revealed a deeper kind of strength. If Chris McKenna's message moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because real stories like this deserve to be heard.